Okay, so if you've been paying attention to the channel, you may have noticed yesterday I put out a video, actually no, earlier today, actually, I put out a video called Dragon Cast, episodes 1 through 4. If you've been following the Twitter the last couple of days, you know I've kind of been hyping this up a little bit. It's a project that I've had, like, kind of in my wheelhouse for a few months now. And I kind of wanted to talk about specifically what the Dragon Cast is, why it exists, you know, how it all came together. Just to put that out there so everyone kind of knows what this is going to be going forward. All that, you know, we kind of touched on it in the podcast itself, that it's, you know, a weekly podcast where Gabby and myself talk about Dragon Ball, like 4 episodes at a time, and we're just going to work our way through the entire franchise. So the way this came about was, I've been wanting to cover Dragon Ball, like, in its entirety for a really long time. Like, it's been an idea I've had kind of just kicking around in my head, and I've been wanting to do it. Let's see, it originally started with, a series called Dragon Ball Dissection, where I kind of like the idea was to do a fully scripted series, covering every arc of the franchise and just work my way through it. Kind of like, you know, kind of like deconstruct it, talk about, like, you know, what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, you know, just arc by arc basis. And immediately after starting that, after I put out the first episode, I found out, oh, the name Dragon Ball Dissection had already been taken. Apparently, I'm not as clever as I thought I was. If anyone doesn't know by now, or you should know by now, Lance, Mr. Fusion, he had already started his Dragon Ball Dissection series by then. And I was like, well, shit. And I kind of kept with it for like another episode. And then I was working on a 3rd episode for like the Red Ribbon Army arc. And I had watched all of it. I had scripted like 98% of that fucking script. And I was just horribly displeased with it. And I kept trying to like rewrite it and stuff. And I just ended up dropping that series. And the reason I ended up dropping that series was for a few reasons. One, the name Dragon Ball Dissection had already been taken anyhow. So it felt really silly to have another series with that exact same name. Two, like, the reason I had started doing that series to begin with is that I didn't think that there was already a scripted deconstructive series on Dragon Ball. Like, you know, as a whole, like, going through storyline by storyline. And I wanted to do that because I thought it didn't exist. Because I thought, like, that's something that needs to exist. Oh, well, it does. You know, Lance is doing it. Lance is fucking amazing at it. So, it already felt redundant. And also, the format that I had given myself for the Dragon Ball Dissection, my version of it, was very restrictive. It kept me in a box. I really couldn't, and I didn't like that. Like, you know, the reason I ended up scrapping the Red Ribbon Army script was because, like, I couldn't. Like I said, the rigid format kept me constricted in how I could approach it to keep it consistent with the first 2 videos. And I was just like, this is, yeah, because I kind of wanted it to be a little funnier. I kind of wanted to have a little bit more wiggle room and how I kind of, like, because I wanted to kind of, like, just approach each arc however I wanted to. And I didn't really allow myself that with this format. So yeah, it just ended up kind of being boring to me at this point. And like I said, it became redundant. So I was just like, fuck it. So I scrapped the whole idea. And then, you move on, like about a year or so later, and Herms is doing his rewatch of Dragon Ball, like Dragon Ball through Z, through GT, and he's like live tweeting it. And like that inspired me. I was just like, yeah, like I want to rewatch Dragon Ball, and you know, like I can vlog about it, and I can just. So I started the Dragon Vlogs, and that got 1 episode because the idea was like, okay, like I can kind of do Dragon Ball, like, you know, covering the series arc by arc, but now I'll just do it in an unscripted format, just kind of vlogging, talking to the camera and stuff. And that almost became almost as daunting as the scripted videos, because With the scripted videos, or yeah, with these vlogs, I still had to sit down and like power through a lot of Dragon Ball episodes, you know, anywhere from like 13, 15, 20 episodes at a time, and like take all these notes and kind of boil my notes down, and then, you know, get in front of a camera and just completely unscripted, just say everything I had to say about the arc that I was on. And yeah, like I said, I did like the peel off vlog. I recorded a 21st tournament vlog twice. The first one I thought was shit. Went back, did it again. Misplaced the video. Got lost to the sands of time. And like kind of forgot about it. Never bothered trying to find it. By now it has to have been deleted. And so they asked me to upload it now. So I was just like, well, fuck. That's 2 failed attempts. And like I said, like, you know, just trying to go through that much Dragon Ball. So then finally, I came up with this idea. The Dragon Cast. A Dragon Ball podcast that was, you know, like, I figured just week by week, it'll be a weekly thing. And I'll just do 4 episodes at a time. So I'm like, I can sit down and just watch 4 episodes, take some notes, and I can do that. But I wanted to do something to spice up a little bit, because I didn't want just being me, because I've already talked about these fucking arcs twice now, at least these early arcs, and that's when I decided, like, okay, I want to have a co-host for this, and there were 2 people I could, you know, possibly consider doing this with in my mind, and that was Lance, Mr. Fusion, because I really appreciate his perspective and his thoughts on the franchise. And then there's Gabby, Mozilla Vulpix, who I also really respect the opinion of, and, like, you know, the perspective that she brings to it. Lance, I already know, is incredibly busy. I haven't like audibly spoken to him since I physically met him at Tampa Bay Comic-Con. Like, dude's super busy. I honestly try not to bother him because of that. And I knew I wouldn't be able to get him in for like a weekly show because he's just a really busy guy. I would like to have him on as a guest eventually, but I knew getting him on for like a regular basis would be near impossible. Also, he and I share a lot of the same opinions, and we come from similar kind of perspectives in terms of like how we got into the franchise, and then like when we made our transitions to like the Japanese version and our preferred version. Gabby, on the other hand, so I felt like that was going to be a little redundant. Gabby, on the other hand, she comes from a completely different, you know, perspective, you know, completely different gender even, you know, and like where she came in from the franchise, how she views it, you know, she's like, you know, she's a different generation, she came from a different angle of, you know, how she was introduced to it, and I feel like she brings a really fresh perspective, and she's very, like, in-depth in how she approaches and talks about the things that she loves, and much like myself. But, you know, she's more of, like, you know, like the emotional impact and, like, how entertainment affects her on an emotional level, as opposed to me, where I'm more about getting stuff out of, like, the story and the characters. I felt like that's a really good dynamic. So I immediately knew Gabby was the person I want to do this with. I spoke to her back in early May about it, and I kicked the idea to her. She was down because, you know, there isn't anyone really talking about Dragon Ball in video format, just on, like, just kind of like this very regular, casual basis. You know, there's Lance's Dragon Ball dissections, but as far as, like, kind of these unscripted conversational videos, you really don't have people just talking about Dragon Ball. It's always Super, or Xenoverse, or Fighters, or whatever is, like, the new fucking hotness. Like, everyone's always about that shit. So, you know, this was to have just a very, like, just going through, like, yeah, just bit by bit, going through the entire franchise. And like I said, like, that was a format that I felt that I could easily do. So there you go. Then I had my, like, you know, the format I wanted to do this in. You know, it was going to be way less daunting and stressful as like the vlogs or the, you know, the dissections ever were. And like I said, I was going to have a co-host to bounce things off of. Then there was the name. And Dragon Cast was the first thing that popped in my head. And like, one of the things I really like about its name is that, like, it's going to change as the series goes on. Because if you notice, it's Dragon Cast episodes 1 through 4. So basically replace the word cast with ball, and you have the actual title, Dragon Ball episodes 1 through 4. And that's going to be a consistent. Like, when we get to the movies, it'll be Dragon Cast Movie 1. When we get to Dragon Ball Z, it's going to be Dragon Cast Z episodes 1 through 4. And then the titles are going to change with whatever topic we're talking about. If we ever talk about, say, Dragon Ball Z Abridged, it'll be Dragon Cast Z Abridged, and then we'll talk about that. So yeah, that's, like, that was a naming scheme I'd come up with. And I looked this up back on May 15th, and when I did, it was not taken. I was like, yes, alright. So we got a name, I started putting all the things into order, and then, of course, as soon as this fucking first episode comes out, someone hits me up and be like, hey, man, like, I had Dragon Cast first. And I was like, the fuck? So I look it up, and sure enough, this guy has a podcast. It's Dragon Cast Dragon Ball Podcast. Kind of a mouthful, but hey, whatever. And I was just like, well, fuck. It's a completely different format of show. They're talking mostly about Super and general discussion stuff. Kind of like your standard thing that you would expect, like, from like a lot of other Dragon Ball YouTubers. And I was just like, well, shit. Because, like, when I looked, all I could ever find was a webcomic called Dragon Cast Z. And I was just like, okay, well, that's a webcomic. This is an actual podcast. I'm not stealing anyone's name. I am being creative. And then, like I said, like, in the 2-ish months it took for me to, because Gabby was on vacation at the time, or was about to be on vacation with her family. So then we had to, like, I had to wait for, like, her college stuff to be over, and then, or for that semester, and her exams, and then I had to wait for her to go on her vacation, come back, and all this other stuff. And so yeah, like, in that time frame, also, us fucking up the recording, having to re-record an episode, because we've already recorded episode 2 by now. The first 2 episodes are already recorded before the first episode even came out, and we fucked up the first recording and then had to do it again. So yeah, this has kind of been like, a trial and error process on our part. And yeah, so that was, so yeah, but by the time, like, this first episode came out, it's like, oh, someone got the name. So yeah, if you want to check out this other Dragon Ball podcast, it is Dragon Cast, one word, Dragon Ball Podcast. And so yeah, you have another podcast with that title. I'm not changing the title of my series. Like, I've already put too much work into this. I've had Aggro make the logo. I've already done fucking art for this. I fucking made a SoundCloud for it and other shit for it. So yeah, I've already done too much work at this stage in the game to fucking upend the entire naming scheme of this podcast. I'm not changing it. It was fucking available when it was untaken when I started this. I'm not fucking changing this. This isn't my goddamn fault. It's a fucking coincidence. Even if you fucking, like, Google Dragon Cast now, like our pod, or if you, like, look it up on YouTube, like I looked it up on YouTube, like, signed out of my account, looked it up on YouTube, and like our podcast came up at the top, and I didn't even see this other guy's podcast, so it's kind of buried. It's kind of hard to find. Even when I typed it, like, when I looked up just Dragon Ball podcast in general, I couldn't find it. So this is not my fault. God damn it. But yeah, we're keeping the name scheme. I'm not changing it. There's gonna have to be 2 Dragon Ball podcast shows out there. And his is named differently because it is Dragon Cast Dragon Ball Podcast, and then ours is just Dragon Cast. Simple. Keep it clean and straight. And then, just whatever the episodes that we're talking about. So yeah, that is the whole idea here. Like I said, this has been kind of this pet project of mine for a couple of months now. I've kind of had it, like, in my wheelhouse, just working on this on the side. Like, this is actually, like this last couple of weeks have really, when I started putting a lot of effort into it, watching the show, getting Gabby on board, recording episodes, doing the art for it, getting Aggro to do the logo for it, which, oh my god, I love the fucking logo he made. Like, he followed my instructions to a T, and then fucking, like, because I told him, it's like, based on the original Japanese logo, except instead of ball, it's cast. Like, there was something I wanted him to do that I didn't even have to ask him to do. He just did it on his own accord, which was the katakana that is normally in the logo. If you look at that, the katakana doesn't, instead of saying Dragon Baru, it says Dragon Casto. And that was a little something that he did on his own that I was going to ask him to do anyhow, and I didn't even have to. Like, that was great. It really helps whenever you have, like, people who are on the same wavelength as you do to help you with your productions. So yeah. Now, like I said, like the format of the show going forward is going to be one episode a week, and it's going to be covering the show. Now, there are going to be bonus episodes. The idea is to have one bonus episode a week. Or not a week, fuck. I'm a crazy person. No. One bonus episode a month. So it'd be like four regular episodes, and then in between the regular release schedule. I'm aiming for each of these to always come out on a Monday. So, like, I don't know, like on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, or whatever the fuck. A bonus episode will drop in between regular episodes once a month. This is going to be a paid-for bonus episode. So yeah, it's going to be $1. Oh my god, you're charging for your paywall content. Look, okay, we are putting a good bit of effort into this, and these are just the bonus episodes. The bonus episodes can cover really anything. Like video games, or the movies, TV specials, things like that. Like little side things. If we talk about a bridge, it'll be here. So yeah, that's what all the bonus episodes are going to consist of. Or maybe we'll just choose a topic, and that topic will be, whatever it is, that, like, the topic will be, whatever, like, the bonus episode is. So yeah, that's going to be, like, the format. As far as, like, where to find these, the normal episodes are going to be on, the normal episodes are going to be between my channel and Gabby's channel. So episode 1's here. When episode 2 comes out in a week, it'll be on Gabby's channel. Episode 3 will be on mine, and so on and so forth. Bonus episodes, to keep things simple, they're just all going to be on my channel, and I'm going to handle all the finances. Basically, whatever I make off of those videos, off the bonus episodes, I'm going to just split that in half and, give the other half to Gabby. Because, she's putting in the work and effort into this too. So, I think she's definitely earned that. So, yeah, we're going to, keep things fair and balanced. I also have, if you want to just listen to audio versions, I have a SoundCloud set up. I have a link in the description. For every episode, I'm going to have, like, a link in the description that sends you to the SoundCloud. If you just want to listen to an audio version on your phone or whatever, that's cool. That's A-okay. You can just go straight to that. And for the bonus episodes, because they are going to be, like, paid for bonus, I don't think SoundCloud has, like, a pay for thing. So as far as I know, so I'm going to make a Bandcamp account just for the paid for episodes of the podcast. So all the paid for bonus episodes once a month, those will be on. The audio versions will be on Bandcamp. The video versions you can just get through. The video versions you can just get through YouTube. Like I said, it's $1. You don't have to fucking buy it. No one's gonna twist your arm if you don't care about the topic. Like, really, this is just not so much paying for a specific episode, but it's just to show support for this series, for the work that we're putting into this, because we are having to take out, like, just to sit down and watch these episodes and take notes, that is, like, 2 hours out of our day. Then that is over an hour. Like, it's about 2 hours for us to set up everything for recording and get everything situated, find, like, the downtime between the two of us, because we're in completely different time zones. And, like, we end up, like, spending, like, 2 hours just, like, in the pre and post and actual recording process. And then there's, I have to edit it, because I have to, move the audio around whenever, like, we're talking over each other, or, like, maybe someone starts a sentence while the other person's talking. I have to, like, edit, like, and then they stop because the other person's talking, so I have to, like, cut that out. So there is editing going into this. We aren't just taking, I'm not just taking a straight audio file and being like, give me money for this. We talked. God damn it, no, like there is a whole process to this. We are putting effort into it, and yeah, this is basically the bonus episodes are, like I said, they're just that. They're bonuses. Nobody is being asked to, like, you know, like being demanded, like, hey, you need to pay for this shit, but like, you know, you need to pay us for our hard work. But if you guys want to show appreciation for the show, you can do that. You can call me a shameless shill if you want. You go right ahead. You know, like I said though, like, you know, this is something that we are putting effort into, and we are going to try and keep really, really consistent about. So yeah, that's all I had to say. And yeah, like I said, I guess, you know, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Like I said, we've already recorded it, so we're gonna start reading comments, because at the end of every video, we're going to read comments, like good comments from people, and comment on the comments, and, you know, kind of create like a dialogue between us and the audience. And like, so episode 2 won't have that. Episode 3 onward, we'll start having that, where we'll start going through the previous episodes and reading choice comments from them. That covers everything I think I wanted to say. Like, you know, that's why this project exists. Like I said, you know, this is something I really care about. It's something I really want to do. This is finally my opportunity to talk about this goddamn series. So yeah, hope you guys really enjoy this. I hope I don't fucking, like I said, I don't plan on ditching out on this one. I plan on sticking to it through the end. And yeah, till next time, guys, Zeon out.